We are back. My next guest is a contributing editor for This American Life on National Public Radio. She's also the author of this very smart, very funny new book, The Partly Cloudy Patriot. Please welcome a very good friend of ours, Sarah Vowell. So I'm asking everyone, by the way, you look fantastic tonight.
Thank you. Thanks.
You look very classy.
Thanks, big guy.
I like being called big guy. Please always call me big guy.
Okay, big guy.
I love it. Now, what did you do today? How did you spend the day? Because I'm just asking people just to try and figure out how everyone got through this day.
I sat in front of my television crying.
Right.
I was watching a lot of the ceremonies, you know, and like I was watching the Pentagon ceremony this morning, and they were singing God Bless America, and I found myself singing along and, you know, thinking about the mountains and the prairies and the ocean with the foam. And I love that foam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a cool song because it describes all this, like how big and beautiful America is.
Yeah.
And then foam makes you think of beer.
Yeah, exactly.
I ruined it.
Or carpet cleaning.
Or carpet cleaning, depending on what you do with your spare
Whatever
time.
you're into.
Yeah. You know, it's funny, our generation, and I use that term loosely because I'm older than you, but our generation has always been...
Much older than me. Yeah.
Yes. You should probably tell people I'm 58. Our generation has always been, you know, we're very ironic and we're slippery. We've always been very uneasy with the concept of patriotism because it seemed maybe corny to us, or it seemed like, oh, that shuts down like independent thinking. But it is probably true that in the last year, the you know, events have made people sort of have a little more respect for the concept of patriotism.
Yeah. Well, that's true. I think I had a turning point with it a few years ago. Right after that whole Bosnia mess, and I was hanging out with this war correspondent friend of mine, and he was talking to these international relations experts about Bosnia, and they were all sitting around having this incredibly detailed conversation about Bosnia and just, you know, railing on nationalism and patriotism and that it was the root of evil and violence and war and death, and that's how I spend my time. And so I was just sitting there listening to them, and I mean, it's true of Bosnia, you know, nationalism bad. Right. But I was sitting there, and finally I spoke up and I told them that that I had just flown on a plane, and I'd just flown over Memphis, and I love Memphis, and I really love Memphis music, and Sun Records, and the producer Sam Phillips, and that I was looking down at
Elvis, Jerry Lee Lewis.
Hello, I'm Johnny Cash.
Right.
And, well, he doesn't say it like that.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm Johnny
Cash. Yeah.
And then I was looking out at the town and you know, tearing up a little bit, and that when I looked down at Memphis, what I felt and what I was proud to feel was patriotic. And this one guy he just you know, looked horrified, and he said he was from Tajikistan, a country I had then never heard of. And he looked me in the eye and he said, "Those are the seeds of war."
Your love of this great music.
Yeah. And I told him, you know, not to step on my blue suede shoes.
Yeah.
But
I'm guessing that didn't connect with him.
no, it didn't. Yeah, totally.
What shoes are you discussing here? There are no shoes here.
But all that music, it's just like this freedom and ambition and fun, you know, that's what the pursuit of happiness sounds like to me.
I think
So
you're right.
there.
So there, you showed him.
Yeah.
Now let me talk about your book for 1 second.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to mention your book. How's it doing, by the way?
Oh, it's doing really well. You know, I really like publishing in the era of Amazon.com because last week I was having a good week, and for a minute there, they rank the sales ranking and it's posted, and for a minute there I was at number 47, which is really good for someone like me. And the nice thing about it is you're not just competing with other nonfiction books. Like, I'm not just competing with Who Moved My Cheese or whatever. Like, normally, you're competing with every book in print.
Like every book that's ever been written.
Totally. And so I'm, like, looking up and getting really competitive, and Romeo and Juliet was at 13,000. You know?
So you're at 47 and Shakespeare is at 13,000.
Yeah, or like Great Gatsby was having a good day too, and it was at number 300. But I was still.
Take that, F. Scott Fitzgerald.
Exactly. I was totally kicking Anna Karenina's ass too.
That's not how it should be. Now,
No.
you also, in the book, you talk about your love of, because we both have a shared interest in American history, and
Yes.
we've talked about this, but you love the national parks in America.
Yeah, I love the national parks. I mean, for one reason is I'm really klutzy and I'm not very outdoorsy, and the nice thing about national parks is that the federal government will intervene between nature and me. You know, like they put up railings and signs, don't touch this, or, you know, and
They pave
and they
things
make it
nicely,
really
yeah.
easy. And like this summer I went to Devil's Tower National Monument, which was wonderful, and Badlands National Park, which is really beautiful, but there wasn't much in terms of snacking opportunities, which is the other element of the national park experience that I really like, is eating weird food in front of some gorgeous vista. You know, like at Carlsbad Caverns, the underground lunchroom, you know, you have a sandwich and you're looking at this amazing cave. But like the best one ever was last summer I went to Theodore Roosevelt National Park in North Dakota, and you can look out at the Badlands as the sun goes down and eat dinner at this thing called the Pitchfork Fondue. And
What's the pitchfork fondue?
They spear ribeye steaks with a pitchfork and then dunk them in barrels of boiling oil and then yank them out. And it's incredibly tasty.
I'm guessing maybe a little high in cholesterol.
Yeah, it's fried meat, which is its,
Yeah.
you know, its whole draw. And I went there on World War II Veterans Night, and you're just sitting there with all these guys who stood down the Nazis eating fried meat. And you're like, this is why you won the war.
This is why we're here. This is what it's all about.
Totally.
And not just any fried meat on a stick.
Totally.
That's the best part.
On a pitchfork.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's not a real pitchfork.
Yeah, it's a
like
real pitchchfork.
Well, that's giant. How do you get what do you have to hold it with your foot?
Yeah,
And how do you do that?
It's very theatrical. You should try it. You're about the right height to do it, I guess.
Oh, I'm a freak. Yeah, I can handle it. Did you, now what happens when you, before we go, I want to know, you do a lot of book talks out there, where you do readings
Yes, I
of
do.
your book. What kind of questions are you getting from people?
Well, I mean, I don't really get so many questions as it's more like expectation. Like I sign their book, and if they think you're a, you know, witty, funny writer,
Right.
they think that you're going to write something really witty and funny in their book. But sometimes it takes me weeks to think that crap up, you know? And I just sit there and I don't know what to say. And so a lot of times I'll just draw this rectangle. Like, this is where I would put the witticism if I had one.
That probably doesn't make too many people happy.
No.
What the hell's that?
I think I'm going to start taking their addresses, and then, you know, weeks later when something occurs to me, I can just mail them a Post-it, and I can just stick it in there.
Yeah, people always hand me something, it'd be like, write something real funny, and I freeze up, and then I'm just like, you know, yeah, dear Billy, ha ha, ha ha, you know, and then sign it. And then it's out there.
I laughed.
You laughed. Doesn't get anything on eBay.
No.
All right. The Partly Cloudy Patriot is, of course, out there. And your other book, Take the Cannoli, which is a hilarious book.
Still available, also on Amazon.
Let's really take care of Anna Karenina.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, you're
Great to
welcome.
have you on the
Thanks.
show again. Sarah Vowell. We'll take a break when we come back. Joan Osborne will be here. Stick around.